The cafe was warm, crowded, and loud in the way only late evenings could be, when tired people pretended they still had energy left. Daniel sat alone at a small table near the window, his coffee untouched, his phone face down, his shoulders slightly hunched as if life itself had trained him to expect weight. Being a single father had taught him many things: how to stretch money, how to hide exhaustion behind a smile, how to answer difficult questions from a 7-year-old who still believed her mother might come back someday. Tonight was supposed to be simple. A quick stop for dinner after dropping his daughter at his sister's place. Just food, no thinking, no memories. But life had a strange habit of interrupting silence. Can I share this table?" The voice was soft but steady. Daniel looked up, mildly annoyed at first, ready to say no out of habit. Then he saw her, a young girl, maybe 20, standing with a tray in her hands and a careful balance in her posture. One leg, a prosthetic visible beneath her loose jeans. Her eyes weren't apologetic, though, just hopeful. The cafe was full, every seat taken, and suddenly Daniel felt foolish for his irritation. He hesitated, not because of her leg, but because he didn't know how to act without saying the wrong thing. People always said the wrong thing. He knew that from his daughter's questions, from strangers' pity, from silence that felt heavier than words. "Yeah," he finally said. "Of course." She smiled, a real one, and sat down carefully. For a few minutes, neither spoke. The hum of conversations filled the space between them. Daniel sipped his coffee, and she unwrapped her sandwich slowly, methodically, like someone used to doing things with intention. He noticed her hands, strong, steady, scarred in small places. Not fragile. Never fragile. "Thank you," she said eventually. "People usually avoid eye contact." Daniel nodded. "People are bad at not being awkward." She laughed, surprising him. It wasn't polite laughter. It was warm, familiar, that they are. Something shifted. They talked. About small things at first: coffee, bad weather, how the cafe played the same songs every night. Then deeper things slipped in, uninvited. She told him her name was Mira, that she lost her leg in an accident when she was 16, that everyone told her how strong she was, even on days she didn't feel strong at all. Daniel didn't tell her his story right away. He listened, really listened, and that alone felt like a confession. When he finally spoke, it was quiet. "I have a daughter." Mira's eyes softened. "How old?" 7. Her name's Lily." "Best age," she said. "Old enough to ask questions. Young enough to forgive your mistakes." Daniel swallowed. That one hit close. He didn't know why, but sitting across from this stranger, he felt lighter, seen, like he didn't have to explain himself. The cafe began to empty. Chairs scraped. Cups clinked. Mira gathered her things. "I should go," she said. "Thanks again." "But the table." Daniel nodded, then surprised himself. "Would you?" He stopped. Old instincts. Don't bother people. Don't hope. Don't ask. But something in her expression told him to finish. "Would you like to meet again sometime?" She smiled, not wide, just enough. "I'd like that." As she left, Daniel sat there longer than he needed to, staring at the empty chair across from him. He didn't know it yet, but that simple question, "Can I share this table?" had already changed the direction of his life. And if you're feeling this moment already, if stories like this make you pause and breathe, subscribe to the channel, because this is only the beginning. Weeks passed, and the world didn't magically soften, but it felt different. Daniel and Mira met again, and again. Coffee turned into walks. Walks into conversations that lasted too long and still ended too soon. Lily met Mira one Sunday afternoon and immediately asked blunt questions children were famous for. Mira answered them all without flinching, without sugarcoating, without shame. Lily adored her. That scared Daniel more than he wanted to admit. 'Cause loving someone when you've lost before feels like stepping onto ice that already cracked once. One evening, after Lily fell asleep on the couch, Daniel finally said the thing that haunted him. "I don't know if I can afford another goodbye." Mira didn't rush to respond. She never did. "I don't know if I can promise forever," she said. "But I can promise honesty, presence, and staying as long as love makes sense." That was enough. Not perfect, real. Life tested them anyway. a school event where other parents stared, a comment from a stranger about pity relationships. Bad day when Mira's prosthetic hurt so badly, she locked herself in the bathroom and cried, convinced she was a burden. Daniel sat outside the door for hours, saying nothing, just being there. Because love isn't grand speeches. It's staying when it's inconvenient. One night, months later, Daniel took her back to the same café. Same table, same window. He was nervous in a way he hadn't been since Lily was born. Mira noticed. You're quiet. He took a breath. You asked me once if you could share my table. She smiled. I remember. I want to ask you something now. His voice shook. Will you share our life? Silence stretched. Then Mira reached across the table and took his hand. I already am. Years later, Lily would tell people. Her family began with a question asked by a girl who refused to be invisible. A question that reminded her father that broken things don't end, they connect. And maybe that's why stories like this matter. Because somewhere out there, someone is sitting alone, thinking their table is full of pain and nothing else. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who needs hope. And remember, sometimes all it takes to change everything is the courage to ask. Life didn't transform overnight, but it began to feel less heavy. Daniel noticed it. In the smallest moments, how he started humming while cooking dinner, how Lily laughed louder, how silence no longer felt like an enemy. Mira became part of their rhythm, not as someone trying to replace what was lost, but as someone creating something new. She showed up quietly, consistently, the way people do when they aren't trying to prove anything. And yet, the world had a way of reminding them that not everyone believed in second chances.